Any barista, to have a successful shift, you're going to need to have a good routine to follow. Today, let me share with you a common challenge that many beginner baristas face. If you have ever worked as a barista, you know how challenging it is to work on an opening or closing shift. When I started out as a barista, I struggled a lot while working as an opening barista or as a closing barista. And this is because both of these shifts will require you to have good coffee knowledge on how to operate the different coffee equipments. Let me explain. If you're working as an opening shift barista, you're the one to open up the coffee shop and set up all the coffee equipment. And if you're working as a closing shift barista, you're the one to shut down the coffee equipment and also prepare the coffee station for the morning shift barista. For any barista to have a successful shift, you're going to need to have a good routine to follow. In this video, I'm about to share with you my closing procedure as a barista working on a closing shift. I'm going to be taking you through a step-by-step guide on the key duties that I do when working on a closing shift. So after a long day of making coffee, it's time to shut down our coffee station. This means no more making coffee because you're going to need to clean up your coffee station and also prepare the coffee equipment so that the morning shift can have a smooth workflow. To achieve this, you're going to need to follow your list of to-do things as a closing shift barista. This is a simple guide that I'm sharing with you as a beginner barista or home barista. If you brew your coffee using an espresso machine, you're going to need to follow these steps so that you can keep your espresso machine clean, but also to keep your full working station clean. So let's jump in. We have divided this routine into two. We have the major duties and the basic duties. This will depend on the coffee shop that you're working for. If you're a barista working in a small coffee shop, most of the duties are being done by you, like cleaning of the coffee shop and all other duties. But if you're a barista working in a big coffee shop, there are many staff that are allocated on the different duties. So most of the time, if you're a barista working in a big coffee shop, you will focus only on cleaning your coffee station and the espresso machine and other coffee equipment. So let's start with the major duties that you need to do as a closing shift barista. The first thing that you're going to need to do if you're working as a closing shift barista, you're going to first remove the coffee beans from the coffee bean hopper. Store them in a sealed container or bag so that you can prevent quick aging of the coffee beans, which may result into loss of flavors and aroma in the coffee beans. After removing the coffee beans from the coffee bean hopper, you're going to need to wash the coffee bean hopper so that you can get rid of the oils which are stuck on the sides of the coffee bean hopper. The second key thing that you're going to need to do as a closing shift barista is backflashing your espresso machine. There are two ways that you can do this backflashing of your espresso machine. The first way is using an espresso machine cleaning chemical while backflashing your group head. This is often done after every 2 days, depending on how busy you use your espresso machine. And the second way of cleaning your espresso machine is not using any chemical solution. So you're going to just need to backflash your espresso machine without using any chemicals. Backflashing is very important because it helps in getting rid of the oils in the group head, which have been piling up in the process while you're extracting your espressos throughout the day. And the third thing that you should be doing as a closing shift barista is removing the shower screens. We remove the shower screens from the group head so that we can inspect on the cleanness of the shower screen. Inspect if they are thoroughly clean. If they are not very clean, you're going to need to soak them also in a chemical solution so that you can unblock the holes which are blocked with the coffee particles. The fourth important part of being a closing shift barista is cleaning your steaming one. The steaming one is an important part of the espresso machine because it's where we steam our milk. So at the end of the day, you're going to need to wipe your steaming one with a wet towel. Open the steam to run for 15 seconds. Then inspect if there is any blockage. You're going to also need to soak it in a chemical solution so that the chemical solution can unblock the holes of the steaming one. This will enable you to perfectly steam your milk for the next day. Next, let me show you how you can clean your drip tray. This is one of the things that you need to do as a closing shift barista. You're going to need to first remove the cover of the drip tray, wash it clean. Then wipe the down base of the drip tray so that you can remove any coffee grinds that are stuck in the drip tray. After cleaning the drip tray, then you're going to need to pour a jug of hot water through the drainage pipe so that it can unblock any particles that may result in tube blockage over time. This is the key thing that you need to remember doing as a closing shift barista. Then next, let's clean the pot filter. This is an important part of the espresso machine where we put our grinded coffee beans and extract our shot of espresso. So as a closing shift barista, you're going to need to clean the pot filters. You remove the coffee basket from the pot filter. There is always stains under the basket of the pot filter, so you're going to need to soak them under a chemical solution overnight so that the morning barista can be able to clean them the next morning. After cleaning your pot filters, then next you're going to be cleaning the full area of your coffee station, and this is going to include cleaning of the full body of your espresso machine. Then next you're going to need to clean the coffee grinders and clean all the coffee grinds that have fallen around your coffee station. Remember to also wipe the full surface of the coffee station and arrange all the coffee equipments back in the right place so that you can make it easy for the morning barista. After understanding the major duties that you should do as a barista working on the closing shift, here are some of the basic duties that you might find yourself doing if you're working in a small coffee shop. The first duty, you're going to need to know how to close the cash register, balance the daily sales, because you might find yourself working alone in the coffee shop. The next duty that you might find yourself doing if you're working in a small coffee shop is cleaning or mopping the floor of the coffee shop, sanitizing and wiping all the tables and arranging the chairs, checking for the expired items, also refilling and also listing the required items that have run out so that you can inform them to the morning shift. So by doing all these duties perfectly as a closing shift barista, it will enable the opening shift barista to have a smooth workflow because they need only to set up the coffee equipment so that they can operate throughout the day. After understanding this closing procedure, then you should check out this video next for the opening shift procedure. This shows you what you need to do as a morning barista so that you can have a smooth workflow, because as a closing shift and opening shift barista, these are the most important shifts that you need to master so that you can be able to grow as a barista.